thoughts, different interests, different behavior, attitude, in so many ways. You can see that. They don't even have that kind of mentality, even a little bit of that. There is somebody who controls everything, who creates everything, who maintains everything. Generally, people comes to that concept called God. Yes, I mean, people, general concepts of the God, people say somebody is out there. They don't know what is God, isn't it? 99% of the people, even they don't believe in God, but say there is God. God is there, my God. I mean, now there is different, pronunciation for that God also, right? Many ways, people say it so many ways. But there is a concept out there. Oh, it's God. God is there. Somebody is there. Otherwise, it does not happen like this. I mean, people cannot even simply take this, everything is manifested from the chemical reactions, right? People cannot take that. Many people cannot understand or take that, this all started from some chemical reactions. So there is some concepts is there for the people to believe, okay, there is a God. So that's the most of the people, 99% of the people. But they do not know who is God, what is God, and how is that God. Isn't it true?
Yes.
Isn't it true?
Yes.
They do not know. But we are so fortunate by the mercy of our Guru, by mercy of Krishna, mercy of devotees, somehow or other that we come to this understanding and realization that who is that God? And what is that God? Isn't it? So here again and again we are learning, we are realizing this fact. So thank you so much for joining. So that's why I said that it's our good fortune. Everybody cannot come to this conclusion or understanding or realization. Everybody cannot come to this conclusion or understanding or realization. It's a little beyond our material nature. It's beyond little further. Okay? So that's why we are here. So elevate ourselves, bring our consciousness to that level to see, realize and understand the Supreme, the Lord. In ordinary plane, this is not possible. If you go out in a party, what you're talking about there? Is it God conscious or Krishna conscious or something else conscious?
Maya conscious.
We cannot even say Maya conscious. They are beyond that. Who is actually in the drunken state is so drunken, right? Those are party and people that just that. Drunken state, they don't even know what they are. They do not know what they are wearing even at that situation. What to speak about? I mean, actually there is some consciousness that they come, okay, it's a Maya conscious something. But they are not at all in any consciousness. So what to speak? So devotees, that's why it's not us. It's our great fortune that we come to this from all this lower consciousness or lower state of our mind. We come to this, the pure, original Krishna consciousness. It's not easily one can get to that. It's not easy. Only by mercy of the Lord, only by the mercy of devotees that we can come to that consciousness. So that's you see, come in front of the Lord. So I was remembering, I was listening this, the beautiful Tulasi Puja. Devotees are so immersed in chanting the Tulasi Puja and worshipping the Tulasi. You know that even circumambulating 3 times around the Tulasi, Yani Kanija, Papani, Brahma Hatyadi Kanija, Tani Pranakshandi, Pradakshina Pade Pade. Yani Kanija Papani, Brahma Hatyadi Kanija. Even one can eradicate even the Brahma Hatya one has done. Brahma Hatya means the greatest sin. One can free from even the Brahmahatya, even one who circumambulate the Tulasi 3 times. We may think that is it possible? Or is it a fiction? Or somebody said like that? No. It has a great potency. Tulasi has great potency. So this is where we are coming to. This is where we are getting into. How this, when we come together, come in front of the Tulasi and circumambulate and sing and worship Tulasi, how one can eradicate all the sins that we accumulated many, many lifetimes. And Srila Prabhupada said, even one chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra purely, all his sins have been eradicated. Derives, it achieves, it attains great potency. So only by, it says that, it says that sadhu sangha, sarva shastra kaya labha matra, sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi. Even a moment of association, one can achieve the greatest siddhi, all mystics, siddhi. You don't need to go to Himalaya for do tapas for 60,000 years. You don't need to go. All you need to do is, by the association, what happens? It's purify our hearts. And then one eradicate and come to and connect, come to and develop that desire and the taste to serve that Supreme and realize that Supreme. This not happens in an ordinary plane. So devotees, that's why I mentioned that this is the greatest fortune that all we have, greatest siddhi that we can have. The moment you realize and the moment you take your tongue to chant the holy name, you are the greatest person in this world. So this is what is Sri Krishna was looking for. This is what is the Supreme Lord was waiting for. When this soul is coming in front of me or taking or remembering me, sometimes people say that he was so sinful. How can he take this holy name? He did so much of sin, so much of act, so much of things that he had done in the past. How can he take up this holy name? No, he will not get liberation. He will not attain anything. But we have wonderful pastimes, wonderful stories before us. You know that the Ratnakar, who transformed the Ratnakar became Valmiki. He was a hunter, he was a killer. Who was the hunter in the forest? Narada Dev transformed. Magari. The Mrigari, the hunter. He was killing the animals, half killed, so that when they struggled for their life, the hunter was enjoying it. This animal half killed and they struggled for their life. This hunter was laughing loudly, just seeing that scene. What more sinful person can that? But just by chanting the holy name, association of a devotee transformed. Jagai and Madai, the recent example that we can say, we say, oh, this is in the book. But what about this? The Jagai and Madai, it's just 500 years, and there are so many others. They were drunkard, womanizer, and going and looting and killing. There is nothing that Chitragupta cannot put it into the list of all the sins that they performed. But just by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they completely transformed. They were about to kill Nityananda Prabhu. But just by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, they immediately transformed. The mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they immediately transformed. And they left everything that moment. You know what they did after that? They were going into the Ghat, the place, bathing place. Whoever comes into the bathing place and after their shower, after their bath, everything that clean, they go and clean that place. This is the transformation. This is the transformation. Think about that, dear devotees. There are so many people, devotees comes to the Krishna consciousness. They may be eating meat, they may be eating fish, they may be killing, they may be doing so much drunkard, so many. But once they started to eat the Mahaprasadam, they started to associate with the devotees. Immediately the transformation. What example we can give for that? What example we can give for that? When Srila Prabhupada came to this country, who were actually initially joined with Srila Prabhupada? All drunkards, hippies. That was the culture that time, the hippies. Everybody, that they were this, they became the happies after some time. How many? They were like few months. They just associated with the Srila Prabhupada. Started to chant. They followed just by the presence, just by the touch, just by the association of Srila Prabhupada. They all become transformed. Who said that then? There is nobody can, the sins cannot be removed. This is a practical example. This is a practical example. We all can see in our life. So dear devotees, that's why I say this is the greatest fortune. This is the greatest fortune of all of us. There is nothing that can give you this much of guarantee. Nowadays, everywhere it is, the guarantee is going on, right? What is that guarantee? Modi's guarantee, right? So, but there is no guarantee greater than this one. The guarantee which we can give, one can be completely transformed from their old past sins. One can come to that very eternal, transcendental nature. One can realize the self. One can realize the supreme. And I mentioned that in the beginning, that many times people does not know who is God. People does not even know what He is. What is their nature? What is their constitutional position? But here on the other hand, a wonderful opportunity to realize ourselves, the self, to realize the supreme, and realize that supreme relationship between us and that supreme, realize our eternal nature. And this all can be possible when we eradicate, come out from our sinful life, sinful nature, sinful reactions. As I mentioned that this is our greatest fortune. Greatest fortune. Who is more fortunate than a devotee? Devotee is not a name tag. Vaishnava is not a name tag that which somebody gives to you. Devotee is a position. Remember this. Devotee is a position. What position is that? What is that position generally known as in our Sanskrit or Acharya says? What position that devotee has? Okay, that's fine. But generally he is known as Adhikari. You heard about this word? Adhikari?
Yes.
What is the mean by Adhikari? Some power, right?
Authority.
Some authority. Some power, some authority. So a devotee, a Vaishnava, then begin and connect and started this process. He is known as Kanishta Adhikari. Adhikari. He has some authority, he has some power. So devotee is not just a name. Devotee is a position. Devotee has power. Where do devotee gets his power? What is that power anyway? So we say Adhikari, but what is Adhikari means? What is that power?
Spiritual.
Yes, you're right. Only by spiritual power, only by spiritual potency, only by this spiritual aspirations that we can overcome. If think about that, we are completely covered by all sinful reactions. Think about a drunkard. Or Srila Prabhupada, we know that in 1945, Srila Prabhupada was going through with Back to Godhead magazine. Srila Prabhupada was literally writing manuscript, writing himself, going each person in the storefronts and the hotels and the shops and personally going and giving to each and every one of them. Can you please take and read it? Can you please take this and read it? Go through the roads and in scorching heat. Srila Prabhupada used to go and give to the people. Because of there is a greatest devotee, a pure devotee coming in front of us, and then taking that one who gets that opportunity, even little bit that, then they get the greatest mercy of a devotee. Even devotees are more merciful than whom? God. Devotee is more merciful than the Supreme, the Lord. There is nobody is even more merciful than the Lord, the devotee. Devotee is more merciful than even the Lord. Nityananda Prabhu is more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Isn't it? Nityananda Prabhu is more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even more merciful than Nityananda Prabhu is Advaita Acharya. Because of the mercy of Advaita Acharya, by the loving devotion and sincere prayers, even Gauradetai manifested in this world. So devotees are more merciful. So devotees go out, and Srila Prabhupada was going out and distributing this. Please take this, please take this, please take this. One time Srila Prabhupada fainted down because of the scorching heat. He faints down. So this is the mercy of a devotee. Mercy of a devotee. Ready to give his mercy, immense mercy. So just by this, taking this little bit of mercy and association of the devotee, then what happens? One can overcome. Only by this mercy, only by the spiritual potency, one can overcome this very much of this material, the energy, or generally called Maya. People are actually in the fall down in such a conditions and they cannot even remember anything. They cannot even realize, they cannot even talk even. I was telling this one story, like, I went to a place where to do the Satyanarayana Puja. And there was one child. It's around 13 years old or something. He can easily say something and speak. I was, okay, beta, do the achaman. So I put in the water. I was telling this person, this child, 13 years, not so child or baby or something. Om Keshavaya Namaha. He cannot even pronounce. I said, try. Om Keshavaya Namaha. I was trying. And again, 13 times. 13 times. I was repeating this and I realized that he cannot say this Om Keshavaya Namaha. But he would get this mercy anyway, no matter what. But this is the problem. Even there are people, they cannot even pronounce the word Krishna. Isn't it? In the world. If you go out and distribute books and say, Hare Krishna, you don't even say anything, just go. So dear devotees, that's why I'm saying that it's our greatest of fortune, greatest of all. Only by this process of devotion, we get the spiritual potency. So by this spiritual potency, only that we can overcome this all, calamities, or kalmashas, all miseries, all problems. It makes you so strong and powerful. You know that there are so many people, they are weak, very weak. Anyway, all humans their heart is very weak. Hridaya Darubalyam. This is known as Hridaya Darubalyam. Very weak, isn't it? It's not that every person, very weak, their heart is very weak. Even a small thing, what happens? They immediately go here and there, they may drink and smoke, go here, and there's so much disappointment. Nowadays, the depression, right? That's the word which uses here in this country, called depression.
There are many kinds.
Many kinds of depression. Yeah, I
I
haven't
mean, this
never
mental
heard about
sickness,
this.
after COVID, mental sickness is rising and new terms are coming.
Yeah, I heard this one. In the children's condition, there are 35% of the kids are going through depression. Going through depression because they cannot handle things. And of course, this all modern, everything that add to it, gadgets and so many things. They don't have any interaction with this nature.
That's the reason.
They are within the walls. As soon as they come, they are within the walls. They don't have any interaction with anybody. And then what happens? Their power is weakening. So this hridaya daurbalya, the heart is getting so weakened. They cannot even face even a small challenge in this world. It's a very great pathetic situation. Then think about that. On top of it, all this, pressure, and then they come to depression, right? They come to depression. And this is growing in the world, this because of the Kali Yuga's effect. That's another fact of it. So only solution, Kali Kalmasha Nasanam. What is that? Kali Kalmasha Nasanam, what can give? The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Iti Shodashtakam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nasanam Nada Paradara Upaya. Nada Paradara Upaya. This is the supreme solution for all supreme solution, this devotional service, this chanting the holy name, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, dear devotees. So what I'm trying to say is, even there are so many thousands of people, they cannot even know or utter the name, the holy name, even say Krishna even once, they cannot say. On the other hand, there are devotees. They get up in the morning, they chant, they come together, they worship the Tulasi. They worship the Guru, they worship the Lord, and come together and chant the holy name and come together and listen and hear this transcendental science. What great fortune! This is called transformation. It's called transformation from our material nature to the spiritual nature, elevating ourselves from our lowest stages or the bodily, the sensual, mental stages to come to that our spiritual consciousness or spiritual level. That's our actual level. Original consciousness. So Bhagavad says original consciousness is nothing but Krishna consciousness. So we can see that where we were many years or some years ago, where are we now? Only by the mercy, only by when the sins can be gone, sins eradicated, then only that one can come to his original realization. That he come to his identity, realize his identity that I am also. My eternal nature is to realize that supreme. So thank you, dear devotees. I just wanted to say this, reiterate this one. How fortunate we are, isn't it? So let's thank all of you for joining this very beautiful Sangha. You know that when I many times mentioned that this is my greatest joy in the world. Nothing else, that devotees comes together and we worship the Lord, do the Tulasi Puja, Guru Puja, and it derives great joy, nothing else. So I think that many of you or most of you actually also experience the same. I hear from the many devotees that they come for this wonderful service. So thank you for joining. It's very auspicious, the Sangha. And this is not ordinary Sangha. This is not a material, mundane Sangha. This is spiritual association, spiritual Sangha. So this is on the spiritual plane, not on the material plane. So here we don't talk about, what happens to the other places. So here we don't talk about the gossips. Here we don't talk about anything else. Here we talk about the Lord, and we are connecting ourselves to that Supreme Lord. So thank you so much for joining. Let's say Hari Bol 3 times to all of you. Say Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And let's also thank Prabhuji. I didn't catch the name, Prabhuji. Pradeep Prabhu and Mataji. Praveena Mataji and children. Ishan, I remember. Ishan and Bhumi.
Bhuvi.
Bhuvi, yes. So they moved from Bergen, no, yeah, Jersey City, and over here in Westminster, and I think that few weeks back, Prabhuji came to our program at Manish Prabhu's home and invited. So Prabhuji is here, the family is here, and also Prabhuji. What's your name? Narasimha Reddy, yes. Narasimha Deva Bhagavad ki jai. And Mataji? Sarala Mataji is here, the entire family. So it's great fortune, it's as I mentioned that. Even a moment of association while we are in the human form of life, in some way or other we connect to devotees, especially the ISKCON Hare Krishna devotees and Krishna, the Narasimha Deva and the temple, and this is our greatest success of our life, the perfection of our life. That's why we are wandering in this world for thousands or millions of lifetimes, just to come this point of realizing our position and what is our nature and connect ourselves to the Supreme. So thank you, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji was also going to the Bergen County, the Sangha there, and so wonderful devotees. And this is called enthusiasm. The desire is to associate and worship. And this transforms, this gives the purity, this transforms our life. So let's thank Pradeep Prabhu and Pravina Mataji, Ishan and Bhuvi and Narasimha Prabhuji and Sarala Mataji. Say Hari Bol 3 times to all of them. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Okay. So thank you, dear devotees. So let's begin. Actually, this was what is called trailer. What is that? Icebreaker. Okay, this was trailer. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's warm up a little bit, yeah? Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Acharya Shtotara Sadasada Sushimad Abhajaranaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaura Premanande. Please hold your hands. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya Bhagavadi Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naishtigim. Today we are starting a new chapter, Bhagavad Gita. This is the 4th chapter, the first verse. This chapter is titled as The Transcendental Knowledge. Can you take a Bhagavad Gita from there? This is yours. Yeah. So, everybody can repeat after me. Chapter 4, verse number 1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvade Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Anur Ikshvagave Bhravi Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvade Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manur Ikshaguve Abhravi Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvade Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvaguve Abhravi. Please recite.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Imam Vivasvade Yogam
Proktavanaham
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Vivasvan Manave Praha
Vivaswan Manave Praha
Manurikshvakave Bravit
Manurikshvagave Abhravi.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Imam Vivasvade Yogam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Vivasvan Manave Praha
Vivaswan Manave Praha
Manurikshvakave Bravit
Manurikshvagave Bhravid.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Imam Vivasvade Yogam
Muktavahanam Avyayam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Vivatswan Manave Praha
Vivaswan Manave Praha
Manurikshvakave Bravit
Manurikshvagave Bhravid.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Imam Vivasvade Yogam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Vivaswan Manave Praha
Vivaswan Manave Praha
Manurishvakave Bravit
Manurikshvagave Bhravid.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Shri Bhagavanuvacha
विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम्
Proktavanaham
विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवान् अहम् अव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
इक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
श्री भगवान उवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवानहम् अव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वान् मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
श्री भगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Proktavanam Aham Avyayam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Vivasvan Manave Praha
Vivasvanmanave Praha
Manurisvakti Bravit
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वानुमनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
श्री भगवान उवाच
Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तावन् अहम् अव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वन् मनः प्रवाह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिष्कावे ब्रावितः
Manurikshvakave Brahmin श्रीभगवानुवाच
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवानहम् अव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिक्ष्वाकत् अब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तवान् अहम् अव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
इक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin Devotees, go ahead. Please recite.
श्री भगवान उवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते योगम्
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
प्रोक्तावानहम् अव्ययम्
Proktavanaham Avyayam
विवस्वान् मनवे प्राह
Vivasvanmanave Praha
मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे अब्रवीत्
Manurikshvakave Brahmin Where are our children? All those, our youth. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivasvanmanave Praha Manurikshvakave Brahmin Jai. Wonderful. Where is everybody? Please recite. Please recite.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
इमं विवस्वते
Imam vivasvade yogam. Proktavanaham avyayam. Vivaswan manave praha. Manurikshvakave brave. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Imam vivasvade yogam. Proktavanaham avyayam. Vivaswan manave praha. Manurikshvakave brave. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Imam vivasvade yogam. Proktavanaham avyayam. Vivaswan manave praha. Manurikshvakave brave.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Imam vivasvate yogam.
Imam vivasvade yogam.
Proktavan aham avyayam.
Proktavanaham avyayam.
Vivasvanam avak.
Manave.
Vivasvanam manave praha.
Vivaswan manave praha.
Manu ishvaka vibravit.
Manurikshvakave abravit. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Imam vivasvade yogam. Proktavanaham avyayam. Vivaswan manave praha. Manurikshvakave abravit.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Imam vivasvate yogam.
Imam vivasvade yogam.
Proktavanaham avyayam.
Proktavanaham avyayam.
Vivasvam manave praha.
Vivaswan manave praha.
Shasvave prabhu.
Manurikshvakave abravit.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Imam vivasvate yogam.
Imam vivasvade yogam.
Proktavanaham avyayam.
Proktavanaham avyayam.
Vivaswan manave praha.
Vivaswan manave praha.
Manurikshvakave pravit.
Manurikshvakave brave. Everybody, Ishan, you want to try? Okay? Anybody else? Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Imam vivasvade yogam. Proktavanaham avyayam. Vivaswan manave praha. Manurikshvakave brave. Jai. Anybody else wanted to try? Those who have not tried it. There is a reason I am asking you to recite Bhagavad Gita verse. I'll tell you that. Okay? There is a Sri Shankaracharya, there is a Gita Mahatmya. In Gita Mahatmya, it is mentioned that if a person read one verse of Bhagavad Gita, what is the benefit that person is going to get? It's a beautiful story which was mentioned. This was actually Lord Shiva was describing to Mother Parvati, this Mahatmya. What is the importance? What is the benefit one gets? What is the most? There was one parrot was living under a sage was there underneath. The sage was reciting Bhagavad Gita. Somehow this parrot got the 2 lines of Bhagavad Gita verse by heart. So this parrot started to repeat his Bhagavad Gita verse. Actually, this parrot was in previous life was full of sin, and then finally because of that sinful reactions and the sin, and became born as a parrot. And then just because of this Bhagavad Gita verse just repeated, this parrot got a good birth in the next life in a family of a Brahman. From there, because of that devotion and developed. And this was explaining. And this person that was born in this family of a Brahmin, that I was, in my past life, I was a parrot because of just recited this verse of 2 verses, just 2 lines of Bhagavad Gita, completely eradicated. You get a good life and birth. The devotees Bhagavad Gita is especially this verse, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. This is the words from Sri Supreme Lord. We are taking that word. There is no difference between Krishna's word and Krishna himself. And when we recite, when you take up these words, you are connecting, you are associating with that Supreme Lord, knowingly or unknowingly. This is your greatest fortune. What else you need? Knowingly or unknowingly, you are connecting, you are associating with that Krishna, with your tongue, with your body, with your eyes, with your body, with your mind, everything. Who else will get that opportunity? When you chant the holy name, when you recite the verses which was already spoken, when you recite Bhagavatam, it says that Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad. You can eradicate all the impurities of the heart. Yes, this is by the mercy of the Lord and the devotees, we have this opportunity that we can use our tongue, our body, our mind to repeat that the word, the Supreme Lord is used, that we are connecting or associating with that Supreme, with that potency. There is no sin in this world that can be eradicated just by this association, just by this little effort. So think about that. What is our greatest fortune then? We are reciting, reading, hearing, chanting, associating. And even it is guaranteed. That's why I said that it is the greatest guarantee. It's not that, politicians guarantee. It's the greatest guarantee. Politicians guarantee can change anytime. This is the greatest guarantee. And where Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in 2nd chapter, right, Krishna says this guarantee. A devotee will take a birth in the, and either he can get a birth in a very devotee's family or aristocratic family, or he get a good birth accordingly, so he can start from there. So it's guaranteed. So one gets this. So this is the greatest opportunity. So always have this in your mind. Any opportunity that we have, we should immediately take it. We should never, hesitate to do that, because of there are millions of billions of people does not or will not have this opportunity to come in contact with the Supreme Lord, that potency. This is called yoga, the devotion to connect. So this is our great Sukriti. Sukriti means greatest benefit that one can. There is that's why it's nothing. Even if you give you $1 billion, it cannot compare with what we are getting now or we are getting from the devotion. Then $1 billion or $1 trillion, what is use with it? What is use of it? Right? So we are going to die. Anyway, even if you have trillions of dollars, we are going to die. The same person has to eat. He will have the hunger, no matter what. He cannot eat all the time, the $1 trillion. He will have the hunger. And he has to go and eat. If he likes rice and dal, he has to eat. The same thing. Everything else is same. Nothing difference, right? Even if you have $1 trillion, what else makes you, what difference? Nothing. But the moment you get this one, it's guaranteed that your consciousness or sins have been eradicated. We have the opportunity to come in contact with that the spiritual conscious, spiritual realization, that supreme potency. We can elevate ourselves to that spiritual consciousness. So here in this verse, let's go with the word by word meaning. Please repeat after me. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said. Imam. This. Vivasvade. Unto the sun god. Yogam. The science of one's relationship to the Supreme. Proktavan. Instructed. Aham. I. Avyayam. Imperishable. Vivaswan, the sun god's name. Manave, unto the father of mankind, of the name Vaivasvata. Praha, told. Manu, the father of mankind. Ikshwaku, unto the king Ikshwaku. Abhravid, said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation, please repeat after me. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said. That's why Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? I was mentioning in the beginning. Many people don't know who is that Supreme Lord. That's why here it is very clearly Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. That Supreme Lord Krishna is said. I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the Sun God.
I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god.
Vivaswan. And Vivaswan instructed it to Manu,
And Vivaswan instructed it to Manu,
the father of mankind.
father of mankind.
And Manu in turn instructed to Ikshwaku.
And Manu in turn instructed it to Vishwaka.
Purport. Herein we find the history of Bhagavad Gita traced from a remote time when it was delivered to the royal order of all planets, beginning from the sun planet. The kings of all planets are especially meant for their protection of the inhabitants, and therefore the royal order should understand the science of Bhagavad Gita in order to be able to rule the citizens and protect them from material bondage to lust. Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So this is the key. Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. In eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the executive heads of all states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture, and devotion. In other words, the executive heads of all states are intended to spread the science of Krishna consciousness so that the people may take advantage of this great science and pursue a successful path, utilizing the opportunity of the human form of life. So this is our greatest opportunity. In this millennium, the sun god is known as Vivaswan and the king of the sun, which is the origin of all planets within the solar system. In the Brahma Samhita 552, it is stated, Ekchakshuresha Savida Sagala Grahana Raja Samasta Suramurtir Ashesha Teja Yasanjaya Brahmadi Sambrudakala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I think many times you heard this one, right? Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. If you lived nearby a temple, you must have heard this one early morning. This beautiful, like, So let me worship. Lord Brahma said, this is Brahma Samhita, the 552. Lord Brahma said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, Govinda Mahadi Purusham, and under whose order the sun, which is the king of all planets, that's it, Yakchak Shuresha Savida Sagala Grahana, not only the sun, Sagala Grahana, but is Raja Samasta Suramurti Ashesha Teja, Raja Samasta Suramurti, everybody is under the order of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. The original person under whose order the sun, which is the king of all planets, is assuming immense power and heat. Just because of Krishna, that the sun god has this immense power and heat and light. Otherwise, think about it, right? Sometimes we all think, what is this light anyway? Have you ever thought about it? How do we see this? What is this light anyway? Right? Isn't it? The sun gives that light and the heat. Anyway, what is this heat, this energy? Yes, it has greater potency that we can say this. But what is this light anyway? Right? Nothing but the source is that Supreme Lord created this for the people, for the living entities in this world. So that people can live and see things. Think about that, there is no light at all. So, of course, darkness is the absence of light. Isn't it? So, darkness is anyway, that's another nature of it. Basically, the nature of this material world is dark, or ignorance, or darkness. So within this world, within this darkness, there is a light. People can see things. Think about that, it was not there. Everything was so dark and nothing won't be here in this world. Nothing won't be here. Because of that sun exists everything. This entire solar system is there because of that sun. And where that potency even coming from? That's what he says, that Brahma is glorifying. Brahma is saying that this power is coming from Krishna. That's why Govinda, Brahma is saying this. Brahma is glorifying the Supreme Lord. The sun is the king of the planets, and the sun god at present the name Vivaswan. Sun god is not, this is not just like a globe there, or some matter, or some fusion happens in the sun planet, energy emanates. It's not that. There is a potency behind all this, isn't it? Think about that. If you put a seed is there. The seed has to grow. There must be definitely a potency must be there, isn't it? It's grow and make it that. So it absorbs it. Yes, it absorbs all the chemical things. But it's growing and consuming and growing and accumulating and holding it and creating and byproduct, and from that byproduct again the seed creates, from that seed again it's coming up. This is a repetitive process, isn't it? That's the nature, like mere chemical reactions can do anything like this. So there is a potency behind everything. So that's the first and the foremost understanding one should have. Everything, there is a potency behind it. That's what is Brahma saying. We should have this understanding. We should have this realization. Even a branch of a tree is been designed in such a way that, you know, that if you go to California, there is a big tree called redwood trees. It is been there for thousands of years. It was standing there for. And it's, if you look at the seed of this redwood tree is very tiny. It's like a mustard seed. That's what it is. But it's a huge big tree. You cannot even, the trunk of the tree is similar to, like, you know, the size of this room. The size of this room, that's what is the trunk of this the tree. And it's coming from this very tiny. And thousands of years it is standing there, and with the light and heat and it's everything, and it's produced, and byproducts create the fruits and seeds and everything, flowers and everything is going on. I think there is a chemical reaction. Anybody thinks here there is a chemical reaction? No, there is a potency behind it. Everything. That's why everything moves, even atom. And it's very simple, isn't it? Many of you must have learned this one from your school. That what is the fission and what is fusion. How many of you know what is fission and what is fusion? It's a physics. So how many of you, now I know that, now I come to know how many of you have, attended the physics class. What is fission and what is fusion? Yes.
Fission is breaking and fusion is combining.
Combining, yes. Nothing but. Fission is breaking the atom. When you break an atom, what happens? It releases immense energy. Immense potency. You can imagine that. Even a tiny atom, you cannot even see it. You cannot even see the atom, isn't it? First of all. And you have to, look through the microscope or something like that. Then if you are breaking an atom, then what happens? Immense energy just from that one atom. Similarly, if you combine the two atoms, then it releases energy again. You may wonder, what is this world, isn't it? What is this all about? We wonder it, right? The same energy, this tiny little atom, it has such a great potency. You cannot even imagine how much, even little gram, like 30 grams of this plutonium, whatever it is, if you break it, you cannot, have you understood that the significance, the great, what is that, the disaster of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Have you ever read that? You ever read that? Have you ever seen that, the picture of that, the bomb was exploding in Hiroshima? Ever seen that? Anybody saw that? Anybody saw that picture of it? It's like in 8-10 kilometers circled around. It's like a huge umbrella. Miles, almost 10 miles above the earth. It was created as such a heat that it was almost like the heat within around like 8 to 10,000 Fahrenheit. That was the heat which was generated. Nothing that around surrounded by it, that everything become ashes. Kilometers where that the bomb exploded and the circumferences of everything become ashes in a minute. Anything that, even concrete, becomes ashes in a minute. This was the, the disasters of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the bomb explosion. You can imagine that how, disaster it was. So this is just from that atom. It explodes an atom. So we know that the John Oppenheimer, the John Oppenheimer, he was the first detonated this bomb in the Oklahoma City, I believe. He was watching from the far behind, and he was actually the controller, and everything is set up in the desert there, and he was far away and watching this in the screen of it. He first detonated this one, and he saw that he cannot even believe that. He never saw that right before. He know that it releases the energy like this when you just break and split an atom. But he never has an idea that, this is what is going to happen when you split an atom. So he was seeing this one, and immediately he just detonated the bomb. And it was huge. What is that called? The ball of fire. Cannot even imagine that. A huge ball of fire in miles of radius. And he was telling this one, I saw the death. I saw the death. And Krishna says that, in the Bhagavad Gita, and he was repeating this verse from the Bhagavad Gita. You know that what verse he repeated from the Bhagavad Gita? Anybody remembers? The verse he repeated from the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, time I am the death, kalo asmi. Time I am the death. Oh, John Akbar says that I see that, I could repeat that. The devotees, what is this power? What is this potency? Where it's come from? Think about it. So this is Krishna's potency, Krishna's energy, but we misuse it. We misuse it. Similarly, we all have that potency within us. But the difference between that atomic potency and that potency, that spiritual potency that we have, the same potency in two different ways. One is in a material way, another is in a spiritual way. Material way burns everything and does everything so much havoc like this. But on the spiritual way, we can speak, that's the same potency. We can see, we can speak, we can hear, we can touch, we can all the senses, we can remember the mind, we can remember our memory, the smriti, everything, and the same soul, that spirit soul is also that the potency of that supreme. That potency is manifested as the supreme spirit, supreme potency, and then the jiva, the spiritual potency, and then the body as the gross material potency in so many ways. So this is what is explaining here, dear devotees, that Krishna is the source of everything. We should understand this. The sun is the king of the planets, and the sun god at present, the name of Vivaswan, rules the sun planet, which is controlling all the other planets by supplying heat and light. He is rotating under the order of Krishna. We say this to the scientist. We go and tell to the scientist, sun is rotating as per the order of Krishna. They said, you are a mad person. You are a mental person. You need treatment. But a devotee can understand this. Non-devotee cannot perceive this because he cannot think beyond certain level. This can think or perceive only by the devotee because of the mercy. The devotee gets the mercy of the Lord, then only he can go beyond their mental speculation. He can perceive. So this way, he is rotating under the order of Krishna, and the Lord Krishna originally made Vivaswan his first disciple to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says that, and then Arjuna asked this question later that, right? So Krishna says that I instructed this transcendental knowledge to the sun god Vivaswan. You know how many million years ago? How many million years ago? 120 million years ago. Can you believe? Krishna instructed this same knowledge that what we have in our right now in our hand. Instructed to the Vivaswan sun god 120 million years ago. The same knowledge that what we have in our hand. How fortunate we are, isn't it? Krishna had to personally gave this to Vivaswan, the sun god. Now Krishna gave to Arjuna. Now we are getting the same source from Krishna to us as well. This is called transcendental knowledge. Vigyan. There is a Gyan, there is a Vigyan. Should always remember this. Vigyan means the knowledge of the Supreme. Vigyan means the transcendental knowledge is the knowledge of the Supreme. So then the Gita is not therefore the speculative treatise for the insignificant mundane scholar. So that's what I was saying. The scholar, but it's a standard book for knowledge coming down from the time immemorial. So we are breaking this material knowledge, but breaking and then entering into that the real knowledge of this nature, near knowledge of a near knowledge in this world. So one has to understand this. In the Mahabharata Shanti Parva 348, 51 to 52, we can trace out history of the Gita as follows. Treda yugaucha tado vivaswan manave dadau manuscha loga bhritti artham sudha ikshvagave dadau ikshvagune cha karido vyapa lokan avastidaha. This is from Mahabharata Shanti Parva. Says, in the beginning of the millennium known as Treda Yuga, the science of the relationship with the Supreme was delivered to Vivaswan to Manu. Manu, being in father of mankind, gave it to his son Maharaj Ikshvaku, the king of the earth planet and the forefather of the Raghu dynasty. And the Lord Ramachandra appeared. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed human society from the time of Maharaj Ikshvaku. It says that at present moment we have just passed through the thousands of years of Kali Yuga, which was 432,000 years. Before the thread, there was Dwapara Yuga, 800,000 years. And before that, there was Treta Yuga, 1.2 million years. Thus, some 2.2 million years ago, Manu spoke. It's 2 million years ago. Manu spoke the Bhagavad Gita to his disciple Maharaj Ikshvaku. That is 2 million years ago. Then the king of this planet Earth, the age of the current Manu is calculated last somewhere around, it's how much it is? It's 305 million. Okay? Calculated last somewhere around 305 million years, of which 120 millions have passed. See that? So 120 million years ago. Accepting before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord and his disciple Sun God Vivaswan. A rough estimate of that, the Gita was spoken at least 120 million years ago. And human society, it has been extended for 2 million years. It was respoken by the Lord again to Arjuna about 5,000 years ago. That is the rough estimate of the history of the Gita. According to the Gita itself, that according to the version of the speaker, Lord Krishna, it was spoken to Sun God Vivaswan because he is also Kshatriya and is the father of Kshatriyas who are descendants of the Sun God or the Surya Vamsha Kshatriyas. So that's why Lord Ram appeared in Surya Vamsha. So this is not a fiction actually. You know that the temple in Ayodhya, archaeological survey of India, Lord Ram was, of course, Sun dynasty. Ikshvaku, the sun god Vivaswan, Manu, instructed to Ikshvaku. This is the time period. Manu is who was that Manu? Swayambhuva Manu. Was Swayambhuva Manu, that Manu instructed to this Ikshvaku. This was manifested himself, Swayambhuva Manu. Ikshvaku was the dynasty, the mankind or the first king of the Kshatriya, Ikshvaku Vamsham, right? We all know that Lord Ramachandra was Ikshvaku Vamsham, or actually the Surya Vamshi Ramachandra started from sun god. Think about, you think that it is somebody came up with this concordance or this who will connect that, the Surya Vamsha here? That's that our Vamsha or Kshatriya or this, this dynasty is started from the sun god. The devotees, this was all referred in our Veda, in our scripture. That's why. Right? So, as is mentioned like this. So, Kshatriyas who are descendants of sun god, the Surya Vamsha Kshatriyas, because Bhagavad Gita is as good as the Vedas, being spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was I was saying. This is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita. This knowledge is apaurishaya. Very important word. What is paurishaya means? Paurishaya means this was man-made. Or these concoctions or man-made, these literal things here we can see in this world. You can say that is paurishaya. But this is beyond that. This is what? Apaurishaya. It's not ordinary material mundane creation. This is manifested from the Supreme Lord Himself. That is known as Apaurishaya. Superhuman. Since the Vedic instructions are accepted as they are, without human interpretation, the Gita must therefore accepted without mundane interpretation. That's why Srila Prabhupada put this name. What it is? Bhagavad Gita as it is. It has a great potency, dear devotees. This one book transformed me. I have that book. This one book transformed me. I think many of you have that similar experience. Just reading this Bhagavad Gita as it is, you yourself can completely change your perceptions, your understanding, realization, everything. So, the mundane wranglers may speculate on Gita in their own ways, but that is not Bhagavad Gita as it is. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita has to be accepted as it is from the disciplic succession, and it is described here in that the Lord spoke to the sun god spoke to the son Manu, and Manu spoke to his son Ikshvaku. Devotees, this is what and I think few weeks back we described about the importance of everybody should have this Bhagavad Gita. Everybody should read Bhagavad Gita, not keep as it is. Many times that what we do, Bhagavad Gita we take and keep it as it is. So said, oh, Bhagavad Gita says as it is. He says that Bhagavad Gita as it is, that means I should keep it as it is. No, it's Bhagavad Gita as it is means this is original Bhagavad Gita. It was spoken by Krishna. Dear devotees. This is very, very wonderful transcendental knowledge which reveals, and never ever hesitate to read and recite Bhagavad Gita every day. Please read at least one verse, recite that the way that we recite, and read the translation, read the purport. Devotees, tremendous transformation happens to us, no matter what. And this is what is our perfection. That's what is the Lord's mercy comes to us in this way. So I think it's little. So I'll stop here with this note. So we are beginning a new chapter. We'll explain. See, there's so much to say and so much to explain, one by one. But time, not permitting so much. So thank you so much for joining. It's our great fortune that I always say it's our great fortune by the mercy of the Lord, Sri Radha Madhavji, Jagannath Ji, Baladev Ji, Subhadra Maya, and Gauranitai. Gauranitai's mercy is that all we are now here. So I should pray to the Lord. We should be so much grateful for that. That's the one thing. This is not ordinary. We should be so grateful, extremely grateful for the Lordships and the devotees. You have this opportunity, somehow or other, it can transform us, it can give so much of strength and the potency and the clarity and the knowledge and the place and everything it can give in our life. So never ever think that this devotional Sangha, devotional aspect, devotional services that's not ordinary at all, first of all. Take it that seriousness. in our life. Life will be successful, life will be sublime, life will be perfect. That's the perfect life called. Not that we go to the bar and drink and sit there with the company and the friends, and we are killing ourselves. We are killing ourselves. Okay, I'll stop here, otherwise I'll keep talking. So thank you so much, dear devotees. Shantiraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Anybody would like to add anything? Any comments? Any questions? Any concerns? Anything you would like to add? Everybody is tired now. It's 10 o'clock, I can understand. Yes? Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll stop here. Viraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanandi. Jai.